It's like gold dust. You hear me coming through your speakers. You see me mashing up your airwaves. I know you can't get enough of my sound. Gold dust.
My name's Joe Schmidt, and that's what I've been up to for the past 4 months in NUIN. I'm your average small-town kid from Wisconsin, living in a town where there are 2 PGA Championship golf courses and world-class sailing. As a rising senior, I was really only sure of 2 things. One, I would desperately miss sailing, but secondly, I was probably going to end up in Boston. Little did I know, I would end up halfway around the world thanks to the NUIN program at Northeastern University. Wisconsin was my home, but I was definitely ready for a change, and I needed to say goodbye first.
How deep is your love?
After an amazing summer and a lot of heartfelt goodbyes, I hopped on a plane and I was headed to London. After landing in London, I met my roommate Andrew, who I quickly became friends with. Our residence in South Kensington was beautiful, and we soon began to explore the city. At first, this was intimidating, but before we knew it, we were navigating the tube with ease and could go just about anywhere we wanted. These first few weeks were definitely some of my favorite, and we saw and did just about everything for the first time. I can now say I've successfully biked across London, right along with the traffic, from west to east. I've stood in front of Buckingham Palace, gone on afternoon runs through Hyde Park, and attended my first Premier League soccer match. These are just a few of the amazing adventures I've had in the first months of the program. One of the best things about London is it's a world-class city, and there is an endless number of parades and festivals to go to. I attended classes at the Foundation for International Education. My professors were excellent, and I can honestly say I enjoyed most of my classes. The instructor's ability to take us outside of the classroom and into the city was one of my favorite things about my classes. Along with classes, I also had service learning. I had a placement at the Ragged School Museum. Every Thursday, I would ride to the tube to East London and volunteer at the museum. Whether I was helping them plan their Halloween party or clean up an exhibit, I always felt valued, and that was really great because I knew the work I was doing was making a difference in their lives as well. I also volunteered in 2 other events. One was called Wrap Up London, in which we collected coats and sorted them for people that couldn't afford a coat. My second volunteer opportunity was a cleanup at a local cemetery in Tower Hamlets. During October, we were given a week off for midterm break. My friends and I decided to travel throughout Italy. Our first stop was Rome, where Andrew, Aiden, and I saw the Pantheon, the towering Colosseum, and visited the Trevi Fountain. We explored just about every church we came across and walked more in those 3 days than we had all semester. We also visited the beautiful Vatican City, where we saw the heart of the Catholic Church. Before we knew it, we were on a train off to Florence. In Florence, we ate the most incredible food imaginable, saw the 4th largest Catholic church in the world, and climbed to the top of the Duomo. We stood on the top of the Piazza di Michelangelo overlooking the city and crossed the Ponte Vecchio. Lastly, we saw the unimaginable works of the master, such as Michelangelo's David. Before we knew it, break was almost over, and with only 3 days left, my friends and I found ourselves getting lost in the enchanting canals of Venice, where we watched the gondolas go by and visited 2 amazing islands, known for their artisan glassblowing and beautiful, colorful houses. Midterm break was an unforgettable experience, and I'm so glad I got to spend it with some amazing friends, seeing some amazing things. My travels didn't end there, however. Perhaps one of the greatest things about studying abroad is that there's always a train, bus, or plane that within an hour can get you to an awe-inspiring city or new landscape. My friends and I took weekend trips I will never forget, such as our trip to Amsterdam, where we got to go to the Anne Frank House, take a paddle boat down a canal, and stand by the I Am Amsterdam sign. Later in the semester, we visited Paris, and I was once again inspired by the beautiful scenery. I stood at the top of the Eiffel Tower, looked out from Montmartre, and I also spent a day in Versailles, where I walked through the Hall of Mirrors, rode down the lake that overlooked the gardens, and perhaps one of my favorite things was on our last night, where we sat in front of the Arc de Triomphe and just watched the traffic go by. London has been my home for the past 4 months. I couldn't imagine spending my first semester of college any other way, and I would do it all over again in a second. Traveling around Europe, studying with amazing classmates, and meeting people of every culture. I'd like to thank all the NUIN staff, specifically my ISAs and GE teachers. Most importantly, I'd like to thank my parents, amazing friends and family, and all the people that made London great. See you in Boston.